By now, I'm sure you already know about the last prophet on earth, which was Prophet Muhammad. And we have already seen in the story of Prophet Muhammad how he established the community of Muslims who would follow this new religion of Islam. Muhammad was not only a religious leader but also a political leader who had united the Arabian people, right? The different people who belonged to different tribes who lived in the Arabian Peninsula. He had established this common community of the Muslims where everybody was included. So we see that he was not only a religious but also a political leader who provided a common identity by the religion of Islam. So we also see that Muhammad becomes the person who handheld these people through the new Islamic law and the style of worship. Because if you remember, we had already discussed about the fact that these people, the Islamic people, were now following a monotheistic religion. Now, this was the situation before Muhammad's death. But after Muhammad's death in 632 AD, there arose a leadership crisis. Now you might ask, why so? Now see, Muhammad had been this person who had provided an umbrella, provided a leadership, a path to these people who followed him. Now after Muhammad died, we could see that there is a vacuum which was created as to who would provide the leadership to this community that was created by Muhammad. So the solution came from the Ummah, the community itself, right? So they arrived upon the solution of a Khalifa or a Caliph. Now, who was a Khalifa or a Caliph? The Khalifa or a Caliph became the successor of Muhammad. The people who are going to carry the leadership of this community after Muhammad was the Caliph or the Khalifa. Therefore, Khalifa or the Caliph automatically, like Muhammad, would become the religious and the political head of the Muslim community. So just like as you have studied in your Indian history about the sultans having their sultanates, the caliphs had their seat of power or their rule as the caliphates. So the sultan has the sultanate and the caliph has the caliphate. Such were the circumstances when a religious ideology was now becoming the epicenter of a political development. And we see that a religion becomes the leading path to various political changes in the Middle Eastern zone. How so? Let us learn. So after the decision of the caliphate was made, the community, the Ummah, was divided as to who would become the first person to take over after Muhammad. Now these two names, as you can see, Hazrat Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and Hazrat Ali Asadullah, both of these people were thought to be the successors of Muhammad. But the Ummah had already been divided as to who should get it first. Because Abu Bakr was the person who is called the first convert in Islam, was also the closest follower of Muhammad, whereas Ali was Muhammad's cousin as well as his son-in-law. So you can see how they were divided on this factor as to who should take the leadership up first. Now, the people who wanted Abu Bakr to become the first caliph were called the Sunnis, and the ones who wanted Ali to be the first caliph were called the Shias. So we see that this new religion now got divided into two factions, that of the Sunnis and the Shias. Now, if you look at this timeline here, we have already covered these events in Muhammad's life. So we have seen Muhammad being born in Mecca, then his years of preaching, then his revelation, and now we are standing at Muhammad's death and then the Shia-Sunni divide that happened. So after the Shia-Sunni divide, how exactly did the political environment take its shape is something that we have to look into. So we see that the Sunnis won and they stood their ground, and Abu Bakr was made the first caliph. So can you tell me who was the first caliph? Was it Abu Bakr, Usman or Ali? It was Abu Bakr. But after Abu Bakr, there were three other caliphs who came, and Ali was the fourth caliph. Now, all these caliphs, as you can see, after Abu Bakr, we have Hazrat Umar al-Faruq, then we have Hazrat Usman al-Ghani, and of course, the fourth caliph was Hazrat Ali Asadullah. Now, there was something very interesting that happened during Usman or Uthman's rule. Now, what exactly took shape or how exactly it changed the face of this new religion is something that we have to see. So, in Uthman's rule, we see a new caliphate come to power. We see the rise of the Umayyads. Now, the Umayyads arise from a family, the Umayyad family, who was an aristocratic family that was situated in Mecca. And they were trying to gain power for a very long time. But it was not exactly established by Uthman. It was established by Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, who was the long-time governor of Syria, who was the founder of the Umayyad regime. And Muawiyah made the capital for the Umayyads at Damascus. The Umayyad Caliphate was spread across a vast region. We therefore see an era of political expansion under the Umayyads. As you can see that before the Umayyad Caliphate came, so it was almost around this area. So just the Arabian Peninsula, right? Now after the four caliphs, it was expanded towards this portion. And when the Umayyad came, we had seen that it had expanded far towards the west, as well as carrying all these portions into its territory, and the east, covering portions of Central Asia as well. So this era therefore became the era of political expansion. So as you can see, the Umayyad Caliphate was one of the powers that had established their rule over three different continents. So we can see here the portion of Europe that it took, then the portion of Africa, then we see it has already expanded into the Central Asian zone covering Asia. So over three continents, Africa, Europe and Asia. After the Umayyad Caliphate, then we see the Abbasid Caliphate coming to power. So the Abbasid Caliphate was the third caliphate to succeed after Muhammad, that overthrew the Umayyads and came to power. Now the Abbasid Caliphate was established by a descendant from Muhammad's uncle's line, who was called Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib. So the name of the caliphate is derived from his name. Thus, the rule of the Abbasid was not only a point of time when there was an expansion of their political territory, but also various cultural changes took place in this Islamic period. So, if you take a look at the map here, we see that their territorial expansion has crossed Samarkand and it has moved past the Central Asian lands, has crossed Khyber Pass and is almost close to India, because we see that we have Indus River right here, and the territory that the Umayyads had captured here in Africa has now reduced to just this portion. So we see that the Abbasids moved their capital to Baghdad, right, which is in modern day Iraq. So now we are therefore at a time when these events have already taken place. So we have seen in 650 AD Muhammad's teachings being compiled in Quran. After that, the Umayyad Caliphate, the third caliphate, is established in 661 AD to 750 AD when the Abbasids take over. Now, in the Abbasid Caliphate, we see Harun al-Rashid as a caliph in 786 AD. And then, finally, in 1258 AD, there is a decline of the Abbasid Caliphate. Therefore, the spread of Islam took place in 632 to 733. We see the exact areas that they have covered and how these caliphates helped in spreading the religion as well as expanding the ideology of the religion into a political expansion. So as we had started off with this chapter with the idea of how the religion became the exact path that led to the political change in the Middle East, we have seen that Muhammad's teachings became also the political precursor to what would happen in the Middle East in the coming ages. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to get access to all our 5,000 plus amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubts resolved instantly, learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, it is rewarding too. So register for free now.